Not everybody that is showing up at the testing site need to get a PCR. The ministry is now going to do PCR only for people who are hospitalized or persons who would come to one of the A&E or outpatient clinics, and the clinicians there decide that this person need a PCR. But this unlimited use of the PCR is not going to help anybody, and therefore we are now putting some guidelines in place to make sure that only people who meet these criteria would get the PCR.
All other categories of persons will be given the rapid antigen test. According to the minister, 1,500 to 2,000 PCR tests and about 2,000 antigen tests are conducted daily. But while there has been a large number of persons rushing to get tested, he conveyed that a lot of the persons requiring the test were not following the guidelines, which indicates that a person must wait at least 5 days after exposure before accessing testing. As such, it was recommended that only persons who are displaying symptoms should access a COVID-19 test in the public health sector. On another note, as the country continues to battle another COVID-19 wave, with over 12,000 people COVID-19 positive due to the suspected presence of both the Delta and Omicron variants, it is anticipated that the number of new infections will continue to increase. In light of this troubling phenomenon, the minister also disclosed that the ministry will no longer issue clearance forms to persons who complete home isolation.
As of today, we will stop issuing those discharge certificates. So once you have completed your home isolation, you can go back to work. There's no need for you to take a discharge certificate.
Prior to this announcement on completion of the isolation period, COVID-19 positive persons were offered a clearance form from the Ministry of Health. This was requested by many employers prior to allowing reintegration into the working environment. But now that the COVID-19 situation has become dire, the issuance of these forms has become a burden.
When we had 2 and 3 persons coming for that discharge certificate, we can go back, look into the results, check, and be able to issue that certificate. With thousands of persons who have gotten infected, right now we have about 12,000 people who have gotten infected, it is extremely difficult to verify the records to be able to issue discharge certificate for everyone.
According to the minister, the acquisition of a clearance form is not necessary, as such individuals employed within the public sector will be allowed to return to work after they have completed isolation. Further, with regards to those persons working within the private sector, employers will have to make other arrangements for their employees since the ministry has halted this process. For now, the only persons who will receive a clearance form are those who are hospitalized. On Monday, scores of persons were seen gathered at the Umaniyana testing site. However, it was disclosed that a larger portion of the crowd was there to uplift clearance forms. Meanwhile, 418,333 adults have received a first dose, representing 81.5% of the adult population. For a second dose, 305,194 adults, or 59.1% of the adult population, are now doubly vaccinated. Vaccination of the 12 to 17 age category continues on a slow pace, with just 31,861 teenagers receiving a first dose, while 22,464 have received both doses. 28,787 persons have received the booster doses. For the HDP Nightly News, Kendell Richmond.